As an American, I think one of the best traditions we all share is complaining about the various food products we willingly choose to buy. From complaining about the fries being too cold, to realizing that pink sauce isn't something anyone should put their money towards, to wanting to go to Burger King, purchasing a Whopper, and realizing that Whopper tastes like the queef from the Burger Queen. We all tend to do this, and I think part of it is because we have that free speech going for us. The ability to give our critiques and our opinions without facing any real world consequences, because at the end of the day, we willingly went there and purchased something. So if it turns out bad, we have that right to complain. And I would want this video to be a lesson to every American specifically. Cherish the free speech that you have. I know in certain areas you think that your free speech is being attacked, but it's a little bit concerning that people think that being criticized is an attack when you have individuals outside the country facing 7 years in jail for writing online reviews about tomato puree. A pregnant Nigerian businesswoman has revealed her shocking treatment at the hands of the police, who arrested her after she posted a negative review of a tin of tomato puree on Facebook. Chioma Okli, great name, a 39-year-old businesswoman based in Lagos, the country's largest city, is being criminally prosecuted and sued in a civil court after she made negative comments about a product made by Nigerian food maker Escrow Foods. She called on her 18,000 Facebook followers to share their thoughts about Escrow's Nagito tomato mix after sharing a picture of an open can of the product and saying it was too sweet. The businesswoman, currently pregnant with her fourth child, revealed that she was left fearing for her life and the lives of her children after plainclothes officers from Nigeria's National Police arrested her in September while she was at church. She told CNN that she was made to stand around in a leaky cell for hours. There were no seats, so I stood all through to the next day. My legs were inside the water that came from the leaking roof, she said. Sometimes I squatted to reduce the pressure on my legs. I was thinking about my children who were at home. I was talking to myself. I would think, I would pray. I was messed up. She was later flown to Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. She was later flown to Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, and held at another police station until she was bailed out a day later. After she refused to publicly apologize for her comments, Oakley was later criminally charged with 2 separate crimes, the most serious of which could land her behind bars for up to 7 years. She was charged with conspiring with 2 other individuals with the intention of instigating people against Escrow Foods Limited and may have to go to prison for up to 7 years. Now, class, I would like to direct your attention to the issues at hand that sparked all of this controversy, which seems to be a Facebook post that reads, "I went to buy 10 tomatoes yesterday that I will use to make stew. I didn't see Gino and Sonia, so I decided to buy this one, and when I opened it, I decided to taste it. Oh my God, sugar in that is just too much. Ha, Baiko, let me know if you have had to use this tin tomato before, because this is an Ike and Guru situation." I'm not certain what a lot of this slang meant, but I am not from Nigeria. And you would think reading that really isn't much of a problem that's worthy of 7 years in jail. However, it gets a little bit more tricky when you realize that apparently the brother of said product got wind of this and said, "Stop spoiling my brother's product. If you don't like it, use another one, then bring it on social media or call the customer service at Escrow Foods." And while she gave one response, she also let it slip that, you should help me advise your brother to stop killing people with this product. Yesterday was my first time using it, and it's pure sugar. Now, I would argue a little bit of lighthearted comedy, not really something that is worthy of 7 years in jail. But if we keep reading, we see that Oakley was also charged with instigating Escrow Foods Limited, knowing that the said information was false, a crime that could end up with her going to prison for 3 years and having to pay a fine of 7 million naira. Police tried to arrest her a second time in January, entering her home in Lagos in an apparent violation of a restraining order issued by a court that explicitly banned them from arresting her without a court order. They stayed in my building from 6:30 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. My children couldn't go to school that day, and we couldn't go out to get food because of the cooking gas was finished, she said, adding that the police eventually backed down and left. Escrow itself is also bringing a civil lawsuit against her after claiming earlier this year that several suppliers cut ties with the company following her remarks and is seeking 5 billion naira in damages. I would like to think in my mind that if one Facebook post has the power to cost you millions of dollars, your product might not be good at all, because I struggle to understand how one Facebook post could lead to all sorts of businesses and brands not wanting to align with you anymore. It reeks of some backdoor nonsense going on with your own brand and your own product, which would lead to people saying, I don't really want to put my company with your company, because it might lead to some lawsuits or a loss of revenue because you're not doing a good job handling any form of the product, and I don't want to trust you with it anymore. I guess the good news for her is at least that she has launched 2 countersuits against the police and escrow, which her legal team has described as a David versus Goliath battle. I would understand that, because you're one woman versus an entire company and a police station for their treatment of the businesswoman. The company's CEO, Eric Umiofa, has come under fire in Nigeria for his threatening behavior against Oakley. He revealed her address to the nation during an interview about the ongoing legal battle, which her lawyer, Inebe Ifong, I'm sorry if I'm butchering all these names, said was done without regard for the security and safety of Shioma, her husband, and her entire family, which, duh, if you're anybody who decides, you know what, I'm being criticized for my product, let me leak your address to not just Twitter, not just Facebook, but an entire nation, yeah, you don't have a regard for anybody who is innocent bystander in this scenario. He also told broadcasters that he would rather die than allow someone to tarnish my image I worked 40 years to grow. The behavior of the police and escrow has come under fire from groups across the world. Amnesty International said harassment, intimidation of Chioma Oakley must end now. Nigerians have also said that they are planning on boycotting the company for its treatment of Oakley. One social media user said escrow is oppressive, thin-skinned, insensitive, and thoroughly irresponsible in its response. She may have been wrong, but you have made an unforgivable error with your over-the-top reactions. And that, class, is what I want to illustrate to all of you. It is a natural thing to where if you're someone who starts a company, whether you started today or you started it 40 years ago, or you're a part of the family tree that started Coca-Cola, you will have people criticize that product. No matter how much perfect imagery you want to put out there, people are going to criticize it, from the taste to the overall ingredients to the people who serve it to them. It'll be something that somebody does forever. Whether if you live forever or die, Shrek is love, Shrek is life. But when you understand that, you have to realize that you just got to brush it off your shoulders. Lighthearted criticism is always going to be there. Yes, there's always going to be the over-the-top people who want to go above and beyond, but to think in response to somebody saying that you're killing people with this product, to leak their address to an entire nation and think that that's going to help the image of your brand is absolutely stupid. The developments around this lead me to believe that this woman will be the one who wins out in the end, because let's be honest, being put in jail for 7 years over 2 Facebook posts, one of them just being a response to somebody else, is indeed ludicrous and should be a lesson to everybody in America. Cherish that free speech, because as much as you want to think it's being taken away from you, you not facing 7 years in jail for criticizing Puree. But let me know, is it fair? Is it unfair? Should she go to jail for 7 years for this? Is it right to leak the address of somebody who criticized buying your product for the first time ever as the CEO of the company? Not just a regular 9-to-5 employee, but the CEO of the company. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Can we at least all agree pink sauce never needs to be down anybody's throat? Goodbye.